Good morning, crypto Twitter is missing crypto, spreading crypto with doctors showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included. It's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z. About to change the world, so y'all better get ready. Missing crypto, I'm never backing down. I got a wax account, you should check it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count, and I'm only getting started. Yeah, I'm barely off the ground. Missing crypto, you cannot stop me. My hands are made from diamonds, your hands fall like origami. Never be the boss of me. Bitcoin's all I need. When I say I'm zesty, that's just me talking honestly. Crypto and yum bomb marketplace. I wanna see the more. We gotta go through cyberspace. Leave this world without a trace. Say pay for a different day, cause we partners in the cryptos didn't stay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I hope everyone is having the happiest of Thursdays. If you guys are new to the show, hey, what's up? I'm Miss Teen Crypto. Make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button if you want to hang around for future events. Also, you see that QR code on the bottom right? Scan that. If you're the first to scan, you get a free NFT. And what's better than a free NFT? Also, I would love if everyone could give a very warm welcome to today's zesty guest, Carlos Estrada. Welcome to the show, Carlos.
What's going on? I had you once on my Coin Vigilante show, so now I'm on yours, so I'm excited to talk.
Same. I mean, I've been following you for a while. You've been following me for a while. We've just been on this like crazy ride in crypto, and you're really someone that sticks out because you have like that positive energy. You've always, done so much for this space, and you actually have, like you said, your own podcast, Coin Vigilante podcast, right?
Right. Yep.
Awesome. And I really just want to have a fireside chat and get to know you and have everyone get to know you as well, besides your fans that are already here. Hey Nana, Sultan Crypto, DMB. Hope everyone is doing well today. Do you mind sharing, Carlos, what you were supposed to be doing before crypto? Because I know you kind of had this wild story.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny. So I've played tennis my entire life. So that's what I was actually teaching tennis for quite a few years. I went to college. I was gonna be a mechanical engineer dude, doing calculus, doing all these things that have nothing to do with what I'm doing right now, which my passion is, Litecoin, Bitcoin decentralization, all these, digital money type of thing going on. But I graduated college, international business, that's what I did. I ran into crypto in 2017 when I bought my first crypto, which was Litecoin. So that's what I bought. Then I bought Bitcoin. I rode it all the way to the top. I was making money while I was in college. I was thinking I was the greatest of all time. How am I making so much money? I'm making more than, and then I lost it all in 2018. So because I didn't sell the top. So I learned my ride with crypto, and I think a lot of people are still going to learn that too. But that's how I got involved. Ever since I got involved, I've been wanting to just push adoption for Bitcoin and Litecoin any way I could. It's actually crazy. I had my Twitter for about 2 years or 3 years, and just now it's starting to pick up, and I'm finding this community. I'm creating this community where I get to talk to people like you, get to interview people that are also passionate about it, and that's what it's all about to me. Bitcoin, Litecoin, crypto, that's kind of like my 2 cents of how I got here. It's a pretty short story, but that's it.
No, it's a great story. I feel like everyone's story is so unique, yet we all end up at the same place and, aspiring for the same things. So I really want to know, what drew you to crypto? What was that light bulb that made you buy Litecoin, since that was your first cryptocurrency?
I think so it was actually, and I tell this story all the time, it was my mom actually who brought it up to me. She was like, dude, I just found this digital money. It's not like what we have. You literally can send it peer to peer to someone without anyone knowing. No one can tell you can't send it. And it goes up in value, down in value, and you can do it. And I'm like, man, that's interesting. And what's interesting too is I was studying economics. I was studying business is what I was doing, in college while I was studying. And I realized, I was doing some studies and never did any professor mention this, that it was a problem. Inflation was a problem. The government was printing out of thin air. The government was basically devaluing our money. And, I knew that. I knew that back then. And the professors didn't talk about it. But then I was like, why is this happening? Why is there no solution? And so for a couple of years, I was just doing college. Okay, whatever. They're teaching me how a slope goes and economics, whatever, and this and that, and how they intersect at a point.
Yeah.
Nothing that really kind of helped me. And then I run across crypto, and I'm like, holy crap. I mean, this is money that is not tied to anything, to a central bank who can, print trillions of dollars out of thin air, a government who can just, sign a 1.3 trillion stimulus like recently, where it favors Wall Street over Main Street. And so that was my light bulb moment. And, it's actually interesting because a lot of people always view Bitcoin as one thing, Litecoin as one thing. But when I first got into it, there was a reason why I got into it. But as you, get in that rabbit hole and you keep going with Bitcoin and Litecoin for years, you start to understand actually more and more about Bitcoin and Litecoin, because it's not just digital money. There's more to it. It's decentralized, it's peer-to-peer. How is that? I mean, that's a level playing field for the whole world to use, because everyone in the whole world around us has different purchasing power because of their own fiat currencies that they have. With Bitcoin, everyone has that one purchasing power all across the world. Same thing with Litecoin, because it's decentralized, because it's a unique network that actually respects and empowers people, not just in one country, not just people that are in the top 1%, but everyone. So that's kind of my light bulb moment. It actually kind of brought me into creating the watches, which we can talk about later. But that's basically one of the many light bulb moments that I had.
There were so many great points within that, but I love that your mom is the one that brought it to you, and it's just another example of not only the younger generation getting the older generation, or not the older generation per se, but just not just the younger people getting other people in. It's like other age groups. It just like how my dad got me in. I just think that's so awesome how we have some parallelism in our stories, and that she thought that the peer-to-peer aspect is very important. And I love that it came from someone that has used the original banking system, or the current banking system, her whole life. So I think that's really great that she saw that very valuable aspect. Is peer-to-peer something that's very important to you as well? Do you how important is decentralization to you?
That's huge to me. I mean, and I don't have to go into depth into this because I'll just rant, but literally the whole point of crypto and Bitcoin and Litecoin, which are peer-to-peer, it's peer-to-peer money, is to keep third parties out of your way, out of your money. The bank right now gives you 0.0001% interest to hold your money. So if I put my money in a bank account, they give me nothing. And you know what they do with it? They lend it out to other people to make 5, 10, 25% interest. So they make money off of my money that I work very hard for from my 9 to 5. And on top of that, I want to buy $5,000 of Litecoin. Oh, but you know what? There's only a $2,000 limit per day that you can, get out of your bank account. Really? That's my money. Yeah. How do you have the right to tell me what I can do or what I can't do with my money? And so peer-to-peer, if you have your own wallet, if you have your own Lite wallet on your phone, I can send, and I've sent money to people around the world instantaneously with Litecoin, with almost zero fees, and without no one knowing, without getting approval from anyone. And to me, that is a huge thing with Litecoin and Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, and that's what brings value to these networks. That's why there's, intrinsic value to all of this, because people value the fact that you can actually transfer wealth. If I wanted to right now, I could send you one Litecoin right now without, boom, split of a second. I just transfer value.
So quick.
And so to me, it's huge. I mean, to me, it's huge. I think peer-to-peer is like an insane thing that was created by, Satoshi Nakamoto. And, luckily we're here. And, people, like you said, old people, young people, my mom, your dad, anyone, we're starting to understand this and getting to the system, and it's going to bring freedom to a lot of people.
Absolutely. I love the aspect of the fast transaction times with Litecoin and, Bitcoin some of the time. Just being like Nana's saying right now, being your own bank. It's so important. And,
Right.
just like taking on that responsibility, which isn't really that heavy because, you're just, you're using your digital money just like how you would, regularly PayPal or Venmo. Still same concept. You have that money on your phone. It's not directly in your hands. So, definitely love that. And how do you feel that, Bitcoin and Litecoin, since you've been in the game, has spread, I guess, in terms of adoption? How have you seen the progression? Since you've been in, the big run up, the come down, people doubting, I guess, and
It's
getting back in. How do you feel? What was this? How did you feel during this time?
I think it's almost hard to believe because when I got into Bitcoin and Litecoin, I mean, we've come such a long way.
Yeah.
I could have never imagined back in 2017, fast forward 4 years, that we would be where we're at with PayPal, one of the largest financial institutions, adding Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. How many millions of people in the world and in the US, dozens of millions use PayPal. And now dozens of millions of merchants can accept cryptocurrency as payment. How crazy is that? Like literally, I'm telling you, Miss Teen, like when I was back in 2017, I thought it was gonna cool thing to ride, but no one, even the hardcore maxis, even the hardcore like believers of the technology, did not or could not imagine. I bet you that we would get to where we got today. I mean, we have El Salvador accepting Bitcoin as payment, as
It's
that's
illegal tender, man.
so that's pretty crazy. What else? We have senators now, Senator Lumens and Senator, whoever, talking about Bitcoin, talking about Litecoin. The government's talking about it. It's literally infiltrated every part of the system, and no one can stop it. So it actually surprises me. And believe it or not, even if you just got in this year, even if you're getting in right now to Bitcoin, for everyone that's listening, you are literally, in my eyes, a pioneer in this space because we are still early adopters. Believe it or not, I
Yes,
still
sir.
think.
Yes,
I think
sir.
the upside is tremendous, and I can't believe we've gotten to where we've gotten.
Right, like, I feel like, being in that time period because, I knew about Bitcoin at that time, but I just wasn't in the game like I am now, of course. But, I see where people could have lost faith. I see where
Oh
people
yeah.
could have, like, not diamond hands through that whole situation and just, sold at a loss and said, I'm done with crypto. This is craziness. But the technology, the like what it does, like it's
Yeah.
revolutionary. And you saw that. And even though, you took the loss in 2018, you had a hard hit. But you're still here. You're still a believer
Right.
in the technology. You know that there's essentially a revolution here.
Yeah, there is. I mean, that's the crazy thing, and we're all part of it. And just like and this is something that everyone can do. I recently did my
Right?
Bitcoin and Litecoin watches, and it went successful. If you build your brand, or if you build your company, or whatever you do on Bitcoin and Litecoin, you're gonna succeed. And even cryptocurrencies. I mean, look at what you're doing. I mean, this is, we always talk about crypto, Bitcoin, Litecoin, digital money, but a whole new ecosystem and economy is growing.
Yes.
I mean, you're selling NFTs, right?
Yes.
That is an opportunity that just was created recently that wasn't here 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So
Exactly.
we're monetizing everything, and people like you are making money because of it. We have side hustles. I'm making money because of my watches, Bitcoin and Litecoin branded. So I think it's actually bigger than we think because it actually is creating jobs. It's creating a new economy. I mean, I don't know, it's crazy. What do you think? I mean, with what you're doing with NFTs.
I mean, this is just a revolutionary point in history. Now, not only do we get to be our own bank with cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoins or Litecoin, now we have the opportunity to decentralize more of our value, decentralize our assets, be our own store with NFTs. So there's just so much that plays into this, and people like you making whole different companies, things that haven't even been done before, cryptocurrency jewelry, or watches. I don't know if it's in the same category, but
It is.
This is revolutionary. There are people coming in this and making this space their own. I think that community also plays a very big part in it. Like your community, especially when you release these watches. I'm wearing mine right now. Let me maybe take it off and show it off a little bit. But your community showed out for you. Do you mind talking about your goal and how fast you surpassed that on Kickstarter when you released these watches?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, there you go. That's the Bitcoin watch. It doesn't do it justice, but you can go to the website and check it out, but that looks good. So when I went on Kickstarter, I had a funding goal, because in Kickstarter, you got to set a funding goal that you have to reach within a period of time. So it was 30 days for me. I set a $25,000 funding goal, and to me, I saw that as kind of helping me jumpstart the business, because Kickstarter, if people don't know, Kickstarter is one of the largest platforms for entrepreneurs to jumpstart their business, with crowdfunding.
Yep.
And so anyway, I got there, I put like a $25,000, funding goal, and I launched. And, the cool thing, here's what I did, and a lot of people know, for a lot of the podcast people who came to my show, like you, Miss Teen, like John Kim, Johnny Litecoin, even Charlie Lee, I gave them one of my early watches as a token of my appreciation for coming onto my show. Because believe it or not, and you're right now, Miss Teen, believe it or not, you played a huge role from the moment you got on my show into making the Bitcoin and Litecoin watches possible. Because you helped in creating the community, you helped in, with all of this, right? And so anyway, we surpassed it, and we finished a campaign about 5 days ago with $96,000 raised, so almost 400% funding, and 228 backers, and over 450 watches sold out of 750. So I call that a pretty good success. I've talked about this. I was in my master's degree 2 years ago in economics, and I had a light bulb moment where I thought, the current system that we live in doesn't respect our time, right? Because what do we earn when we work our 9 to 5? 9 to 5 is 8 hours, 9 hours of our time every day that we work. And what do we get paid with? US dollars.
Yep.
And each year they get devalued 10 to 20%. Each year. We have currently inflation that is the highest that we've seen in over a decade. So then I was thinking, well, you know what? On the other side of the story, we have Bitcoin and Litecoin who actually protect your time, because they protect the purchasing power of that money that you earn, right? And
Yes.
so it's completely different. So money and time, right? Money that actually respects that time. And so I had that light bulb moment, and I wanted to create something that would remind me of that, right? So the Bitcoin and Litecoin watch, this is my Litecoin watch. And that's the meaning behind it, right? It's a Bitcoin and Litecoin inspired watch. There's only 750 of these watches ever for this limited edition. We have 300 left. And, basically, it's a story of success, but it happened not because of me, but because of the community. I mean, I could be lying, and a lot of people might not believe me, but it's true. I mean, the amount of support, retweets, people showing it off, like all the proud owners like yourself, retweeting. The community is huge with crypto. I mean, it is just unbelievable. All the support that I got to where I got. And what I want to also share with my story, and I know I didn't make $1 million from this, but only just statistics for Kickstarter, it is a 1% chance to raise around $99,000 in Kickstarter. 1% chance. And we got there. We did it. And so it can be done. And it can be done if you put the work and effort into it and, just go after it. I dropped out of my master's degree to pursue something that people thought was stupid and crazy. Like, what are you doing making watches? That's literally what people are saying. Like a watch, like a timepiece? What's your deal? And so I'm like, well, I want to spend time doing it. And I quit my master's degree. I spent time learning how to design a watch on YouTube for months. software, everything that I did was with an intention. And so here we are, with 228 people who will be carrying this movement everywhere they go.
That's so sweet. I mean, honestly, community does do a lot, and they really showed out. They really were like, you know what, we support your message, and that's like reassurance as well that you are on the right track. You really took the step and you took the liberty of becoming your own business, and you had other plans before, but you were like, you know what, this is the passion. This is what makes me happy, and you know what, like that's so amazing, and I commend you for it. It's honestly admirable.
I appreciate it, and that's what I want it to be. Like a movement that people can carry, and then inspiration for people. Hopefully, so because people can do it, and young people too, old people, it doesn't matter. But I want to go back to you now. So I was hearing that because you're basically boots on the ground. You're out there. You did an interview, and I don't know if it was downtown NYC, New York. So how do you go about doing that? So behind the scenes, I bet you run into some people trying to ask them questions, and they either like say, "Who the heck are you?" Like, "Screw you." I don't know. I mean, what goes behind the scenes for Miss Teen Crypto? Because I feel like what we see on videos sometimes is like the highlight, but you're boots on the ground, so you do the work. Going out there trying to find people to talk to an interview, which takes some courage. So I don't know what goes behind the scenes for you.
Honestly, it's a lot. Of course, I got to travel there and whatnot. But I get there and I just like look around. I get a feel of the vibe of the place. So I look at my sister. She looks at me. I'm like, "Is it go time?" She's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we just like go up to people, and whoever looks friendly, and and whoever's chilling, not busy doing anything, I just go up to them and I'm like, "Are you okay with doing an interview?" They're like, "About what?" I'm like, "Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, just asking if you know about it." And they're like, "Oh, that's cool, sure." Of course, people will say no, that's inevitable. But once you find the people that will talk to you, it's so worth it.
Have you ever had like a terrible experience, like asking someone? No?
I mean, no, honestly, I'm honestly grateful. It could always be worse. But no, I've like people will just be like, "No, thank you," or like they'll just like keep going, or or some of them will be like, "Nah," like. One time I went up to a guy, he's like, "Nah, bro, I'm more of like a low-key guy." I'm like, "I chill with that, no problem, like, you're fine." But they will talk, so like, it turns into sometimes they don't want to be on camera, but they want to just talk about crypto, which is like even more fun. But a lot more people are getting into crypto. They're seeing the light as you saw it, and I think that, Bitcoin and Litecoin watches, they're symbolic. I mean, I was walking around NFT NYC, Miami Crypto Experience, and people were just like, "Yo, that's some cool swag." I'm like, "Yeah, Carlos, Coin Vigilante, like that's where it's at." And I wonder, like, I really do think that these watches alone will spread adoption. How do you feel that, like, you've spread adoption, or have you, like, done any, like, besides, like, I know you do your podcast, and like that's really great, and I know that obviously spreads adoption too, because people are clicking around on YouTube, they find the podcast, and your Coin Vigilante, like that's a very like zesty name.
Right.
Like how have you seen like yourself spread adoption, whether that's like with family or just like talking about it in general, finding an ad on the radio or whatnot?
Yeah, well, I think adoption is huge, and this is where people can actually play a role in any way they can. I mean,
Right?
literally,
Yeah, anyone.
any way you can. I mean, I see Clint Westwood, I see all these people, community, like literally they go buy stuff at McDonald's or anywhere they go, and they leave a little sticker with a QR code. I think you do it too, where you can scan it, and then it takes you to how to download a wallet or how to do this. I think every person out there, if you want, here's the thing: if you're complaining about the system, and if you want to actually make a difference, then go make a difference. If you want your coin or Litecoin or Bitcoin to actually succeed in price, get out of your butt and then go out there and push adoption however you can, whether that's in the Thanksgiving dinner where you mention it. People used to laugh at me when I talked about Litecoin and Bitcoin. I kid you not, in my family, right?
Recently?
Well, about 2 years ago, and even a year ago, I was telling people.
Same.
I was telling people, you need to buy Bitcoin because it's literally the future. The system doesn't, it's the future. I told them to buy at 5,000, at 10,000. Then we get to 60,000 and they're all buying. So they laughed at me. They laughed at everyone. People like you and people that were devoted to this didn't believe. And all of a sudden they caught up to them. And so I think adoption is huge. And this is something I learned from my dad because he teaches tennis. And, he's like, out of 100 students that I teach, I only need one of them to get it. One of them. Because that's one person that you change. And then that person can change too. So, it's, without getting too sentimental here or anything, everyone can do it. And that's one of the things I'm doing with my watch. I can't tell you the amount of DMs that I've gotten, which I never expected this to happen. Especially when I created them, where a guy was like, these watches will make me remember the time that I was a pioneer in the Bitcoin and Litecoin space and in this cryptocurrency era, and it's always going to remember me of this time. And I'm like, I was like, almost crying. I'm like, man, this is like
my heart.
This is crazy. And it's true. I mean, it will represent that. And that's what I want the watches to do, carry a meaning, which it is for a lot of people. But in terms of adoption, man, I mean, you can create your own apparel, you can create your own podcast. You just go out there. This Litecoin underground, thing just popped up where it's a podcast about talking with digital money and stuff. So there's so many things people could do. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, like anyone could do anything in this space, essentially. We're still so early that even, the smallest idea can make such a big impact. And your idea was a big idea and it made a big impact. But, you came up with a thought and you were like, watches, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and you put in the time, you put in the effort, which is something I love too, because I know we were talking a while back and you were just saying how, you spent hours on YouTube and you were showing me some of the designs you had previous, and it was a time. Like, I think a lot of people also admired the time you put into this and how you really made it your own. And you said, you know what, I'm not going to take a template that's already made. I'm not going to just take a design that someone already put out and I could just purchase for this. No, you literally put every little thought into it. And it's all beautiful.
Right, exactly.
Beautiful.
And that is authentic and people like that. So I would just say, and that's one of the things that I researched. I actually did some research before getting into my podcast. I was trying to figure out what can make a podcast special. And the one thing that I really stood out to me is be authentic. You don't want to just blabber around and say stuff that people already hear, the same voice, the same thoughts. Be authentic. That's what people want. And so that's why I did the watches in an authentic way. And one thing that I do want to say, and I hope it helps some people that are listening, is there is no secret recipe or secret way to figure out how to be successful or do things. You literally just have an idea, work, put the time into it, and just keep pushing no matter what. And eventually something will work. And if you fail, then you do it again. We got time. You got time on your side. But that's one of the things that I did. And, for a while, it was my fear, what if it doesn't work? But, if I can say anything, there's no secret recipe. You just push through and something will work. I mean, what do you feel? Because you created this podcast, you created your own community. I mean, people, there's people out there who would wish they could have like 500 followers. You have how many? 30,000, right? And your community is growing. I mean, what did you think? Did you ever think you would get to the point where you got? There was no secret recipe. I mean, at least for me.
I mean, no, I couldn't have, if someone were to, write this out, I really don't think, anyone could have written it, as freaking awesome. I just never had a plan. I just created Miss Teen Crypto. I wanted to be a part of the space. I had no, plan. There was no master plan. I saw I was I want to be a part of the space, created the name Miss Teen Crypto. I was like, that sounds cool. And I saw it was available on Twitter and Instagram, and I was like, all right, well, okay, let me just take it. And I started off tweeting, and then my followers grew, so I was like, I want to grow with them, and I want to do things for the space. And so I just started coming up with ideas, and I always wanted to interview people and talk to people essentially. So I just started going to Manhattan and just talking to strangers on the street, like about Bitcoin and crypto. It's just, I felt that energy you did, the passion you did. Like, this is just an amazing space with so much going on and so much good going on that it's hard to not want to take part in that and not want to help make a difference and help other people. Because,
Right.
when you look at crypto, it's just like, that's the way to help people. Like your mom pointed out, that peer-to-peer aspect. If someone I know like is in another country or something, and they're like, I need $10, like I just can't do anything, like I need help. Bam, press a button, it's there.
Right. Right.
It's so amazing, and the technology, it's here to stay. And the amount of people that are supporting this, they're here to stay too. And we all have like that common thought, and that is
Yeah,
like
that's
self-sovereignty, decentralization, crypto, fun, and just essentially spreading that good message that we should all help one another. And I just think that you putting out these watches has helped a lot of people, and you've already gotten that response. So that's just really powerful.
thanks. Yeah, it is huge. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where it keeps going. I would just say for people, stay tuned for what's coming, because I'm already working on a new design, and it's actually going to be, connected to Bitcoin and Litecoin, right? So
Yeah.
there's going to be good things coming that's even better. So yeah, it's crazy. What do you think? So what do you think is coming next for Bitcoin and Litecoin? I mean, I don't know. I think it's
I was just gonna ask you the same exact question. Like, that's ridiculous. I was literally gonna ask you that
great
same
minds think
question.
alike.
Yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue. Honestly, we're so close to like mainstream adoption. It's already happening. Like, mainstream adoption is kind of here already. The amount that I see it on the news, I everywhere I go, there's a crypto ad on the radio now, which is like that was a huge thing for me, especially being in New York. Like, it's always the same radio stations, the same people on it forever, and like the same ads a lot of the time. And to hear cryptocurrency ads come up, it's powerful. I think a lot more Gen Z are getting in now than like when I first got in. I've been getting so, like, what's bullish for me, Carlos? The past few days I've been getting so many text messages from kids from high school asking me, oh, I'm on OpenSea, what do I do? Oh, I have money and I want to go on to Coinbase, what do I do? Like, just things like that. Not that specifically, but just things like that. And that means the world to me, because one, they're paying attention, and two, they're getting involved. Like, they're involved and they're asking what the next step is. So people are coming. There's adoption happening. Where do you feel Bitcoin and Litecoin, and I mean NFTs, the whole space, where do you see this going in the next year or 5 years, especially the time you've been in? So you've been in, 3 years now, right? Where do you see the next three
about
going?
4, yeah.
Because like you said before, you were kind of shocked at the mainstream adoption that's happening now, like El Salvador, legal tender. All in the 3 years that you've been in, you've seen it go from almost like, no one knowing about it to a whole country using it. So where do you think the next 3 are going to go? What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, just like you, I think the upside, people don't understand the upside, and they focus too much on price right now.
Yes.
But everything is, I mean, if you look behind the scenes at every large institution is preparing to onboard millions and billions of people with crypto.
Yes.
And this is happening right in front of your face, but people don't realize it because they just focus on price too much.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what's happening. And we're seeing it with countries already getting involved, like El Salvador. And we're seeing it with MasterCard, which we use everywhere. We're seeing it with Visa. I can buy anything with Litecoin anywhere that Visa is accepted. How crazy is that? I mean, I don't know. I get pretty passionate about this.
No, I feel that.
It's mind-blowing, and soon it will be mainstream because there will be a necessity for it. Right now, it's kind of like a privilege or whatever. You just get in, and just because you have it, okay, you can spend it. But it will become a necessity as we transition into this digital world. People just don't want to hold fiat anymore. They want to hold NFTs. Think about this, James. Think about this.
Yeah.
This is interesting because kids are getting so involved with NFTs with dog coins, with Pokemon cards. It's ridiculous. All of these things, and even investing. That wasn't the case like 5, 10 years ago. Who
No
what
one
kid
even
wanted to
cared,
invest or
man.
buy, that wasn't a thing. And so people, by buying NFTs, what are they doing? They're not just buying NFTs, they're transferring,
Their value.
right, their value. They're transferring dying fiat currency by buying Ethereum or whatever you need to then buy NFTs with that. So you are transferring something you don't really want, dollars, into buying something that's scarce and something that's cool and something that is digital, right? So
Yep.
again, digital. And so to me, and I'm not really into NFTs, and I need to be, and I actually will be with, future things going on with the watches. I mean, what do you think? Because I think that NFTs are bigger than we think. I think that NFTs right now is a way for people to have digital art and monetize that, right?
Yes.
To me, it also will tokenize, or in a way, be used for everything out there.
Yes, exactly.
So
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I want to hear from you about that. Do you have an idea of where that's going?
Honestly, where isn't it going, right? Like we were talking before about how you potentially would attach one day, possibly, wink, wink, an NFT to your watch. Make this watch an NFT. That can all be
Right.
possible. Mesh the physical with the digital. A house is going to be an NFT. Guys, if you have not seen that episode I did a while back with Didi Taihutu from the Bitcoin family, please, after this live stream, go take a look at that, drop a like there, and watch the video, because what he said about NFTs completely blew my mind and really stuck with me one day. To the point where one day we're going to go up to a house and be like, oh, this is a nice crib. Let me go scan it. And you can scan that house and it says it's vacant. You could stay there. And the fridge in there, it's empty. Oh, it's gonna order itself groceries. That's what NFTs are gonna do. High school diplomas, NFTs. Watches, NFTs. My freaking microphone, an NFT. This is mint 111 out of 10 million microphones. Like, you know what I mean? Have that value, have that authenticity. It's so exciting. And where you're going is so exciting. What you've done is so exciting. And the fact that, we got to sit here and really break all of this ideology down today is just amazing. And this is why I do this podcast, to have these really great conversations and to see other people's point of view, because you really just you hit the heart today, Carlos, for real.
Yep.
You hit the heart, and you know what's up. Yes, you know what's up. You know what's up with the watches, you know what's up with the crypto, and you will know what's up with NFTs. If you don't have a wax wallet already, we need to talk, because I definitely want to send you an NFT. There's so much cool stuff going on I want you to get involved in. But yeah, I really thank you for coming today. Oh my God, the time honestly flew by. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I see so many people today. Thank you for popping out. We have time. Welcome. Rebecca White, we love Rebecca. J-Mac, Blind Dave,
Yes, we do.
Randy. Oh my gosh, everybody. Thank you so much. Nana, I know, is in here somewhere. I really thank everyone for coming today. If you haven't scanned that NFT in the bottom right, scan it, get a free NFT, have fun. This is absolutely great. I always have a great time on this show and talking to great people like you. So Carlos, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it.
I loved it. Anytime.
And is there where can everyone find you? I'm going to share the link to your podcast one more time. I have done it throughout the show, but where can everyone find you?
So I would just say, Mr. Vigilante BTC, that's my username.
Yes.
Follow me there. That's where I share the podcast. Coin Vigilante. If you literally just look up Coin Vigilante podcast, on YouTube, on Safari, anywhere, you'll find the podcast. And Coin Vigilante username, find it. So you can find all these things there, and
Awesome.
you'll hear about me talking about watches, all these things. But anyway, just follow me there. You'll find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carlos. Guys, if you see that YouTube link in the chat, click on it. That's his show. And here's his Twitter link, twitter.com/Mr. Vigilante BTC. I thank everyone for coming today. Hope everyone enjoyed the show. And if, as always, drop a like, subscribe, and, of course, stay zesty. Peace.
Good morning, crypto Twitter is missing crypto, spreading crypto, adopting, showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included. It's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z. About to change the world, so y'all better get ready. Missing crypto, I'm never backing down. I got a wax account. You should check it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count.